So let me bring in Mama Bear now. So hold on. Mama Bear, you there? Can you hear us?
She can't. She's laughing. What's up, Mama Bear? So, Mama Bear, what's your take on all of this WB Marvel mixing it up 2.0 reskin all that crap? What do you think?
You said it like perfectly
Charles,
as you
Mama Bear.
normally do.
Sorry, 1 second, Mama Bear. Charles, this is another topic that needs to be.
Yes. Before it's too late. Yeah, before it gets too late, we need to talk about that. But yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's going to be the very last one, correct?
Yeah. Was that the last one?
Yeah. Actually, the last one will be this one.
Okay.
Because it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't
you didn't serve him too much this time.
Well, you guys, if you know, you know. I'll tell you guys later. But it's all right.
That reminds me of that lady from The Conjuring that got arrested because of a DUI.
What? I think Phil was serving TomWelling.
They love the alcohol.
I couldn't serve it, but I'll tell that later. All right, Mama Bear, go ahead.
Mama Bear, I know I say a lot about it.
Yep. So let me bring in Mama Bear now. So hold on. Mama Bear, you there? Can you hear us?
She can't. She's laughing. What's up, Mama Bear? So, Mama Bear, what's your take on all of this WB Marvel mixing it up 2.0 reskin all that crap? What do you think?
You said it like perfectly
Charles,
as you normally do.
Sorry, 1 second, Mama Bear. Charles, this is another topic that needs to be.
Yes. Before it's too late. Yeah, before it gets too late, we need to talk about that. But yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's going to be the very last one, correct?
Yeah. Was that the last one?
Yeah. Actually, the last one will be this one.
Okay.
Because it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't
you didn't serve him too much this time.
Well, you guys, if you know, you know. I'll tell you guys later. But it's all right.
That reminds me of that lady from The Conjuring that got arrested because of a DUI.
What? I think Phil was serving TomWelling.
They love the alcohol.
I couldn't serve it, but I'll tell that later. All right, Mama Bear, go ahead.
Mama Bear, I know I say a lot about it, but what's your personal thoughts about it? I mean, how do you feel about what is going on up to this point?
I mean, for the most part, you actually did hit the nail on the head. Just a few minutes ago when it came to it, and it's completely gone from my mind now. Shit. I hate it when that stuff happens, and when the sim controller just completely reboots your thought.
Had a little brain fart.
But you guys were talking a bit ago about, I really believe sometimes that life is like The Sims, and when that moment happens, they've clicked off the activity you were about to do.
Reboot.
It's called getting old. We're all getting older. That's why we're all getting.
I refuse to get older.
I feel young, so I'm good.
No, but you guys were talking about pantheons.
Where were you?
I am ageless. I can show you a picture from high school. You would believe it. But you guys were talking about like the pantheon and stuff earlier. Justice League War, which is one of the versions where they introduce Wonder Woman into it. I am a huge fan of the animated universe. Like I said in the chat earlier, my GOAT Batman will always be Kevin Conroy, and my GOAT Joker will always be Mark Hamill. Nobody is going above them, live action or else. Because let's face it, everyone who comes everyone live action or not, we're judging their portrayal off of the animated series.
Right.
True.
That's true. You're right. She's true. That's right. She's right. Yeah.
That's why they will always be the GOAT for me. and not because I grew up watching it. But in Justice League War, towards the end of the movie, there's a quote that actually it's perfect for this, and I did pull it up, where she says, "It was good to talk among a pantheon again." And Superman asks, "How do you mean?" And Wonder Woman's like, "Hades, Batman, Apollo, Green Lantern, Hermes, the Flash, Hephaestus, Cyborg, Zeus, Shazam. Each a god in their right. And Superman and me, I've never met anyone like you, god or mortal."
Yep.
It might be named different. It doesn't mean that they are not a god.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the juxtaposition for me is the difference between the Justice League versus the Avengers. You have the same balance, but in the opposite directions. The Avengers, it's one god among mortals, where in the Justice League, it's one mortal among gods.
One mortal.
And who's the one that they're all afraid of? One of my favorite animated movies is Justice League Doom.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
Tower of Babel.
Yeah. Yep. And they all but said it. They said that the difference between DC really is you're looking at the tragedy of gods trying to fit into human society and to be more human in their effort to be more human, whereas in the MCU they're trying to bring gods down to their level. Yes. That's the difference. That's the fundamental difference between the two. Okay. And that's what sets DC, and I tried to explain this, and Mama Bear, you might agree with me on this too. When you crack open a DC comic book, when you read how they're written, the prose, how these authors write these books, they are written differently than Marvel comic books. They are. If you look at sentence structure, if you break it down and you really read it, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't read anything like it's supposed to be funny or campy or you know what I mean? These books are different. DC is different, and I don't know why they refuse to see that. That's their problem.
But she's saying something extremely interesting, because if you believe like all these heroes like intertwined, if you believe in them all, and that would be your worst enemy, right? Like kind of like Hades being the king of the underworld, but then having all the powers combined of every single superhero.
Yeah.
Yep. I genuinely believe comics are modern day mythology.
They are.
Oh, they are.
They are what we do to look up to for that higher ideal. This is why that they usually have the idealized bodies, these fantastical stories, just as the old days with the Norse gods, the Greek gods, and why quite often the ones that are most long lasting mirror those particular deities that our ancestors grew up on. Yeah,
exactly.
It's pretty fascinating, isn't it? I mean, I'm a historical nut anyways. It's extremely fascinating to I love the movie 300. Who doesn't?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
But people can argue the thing is that people can argue how historically accurate it is. I'm not sure about them, but I wasn't there. Were they there?
That's true.
Doesn't mean that it wasn't an epic movie.
And he made you feel like you were there. That's the point.
It wasn't intended to be historically accurate, just like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen wasn't intended to be an exact mirror of the books that are represented in it, which I have read pretty much all but the Bond series and Dante's Inferno, which I need to get to. That is a 14-book challenge to read all of the books connected to that movie.
Yeah.
Side note, sorry, I jump track a lot.
That's all right.
You're good.
But when 300 was a comic book.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not going to exactly mirror the historical events. It was, yes, inspired by it. but let's face it, we all know that as badass as the Spartans were, they weren't running around in leather Speedos.
Oh, why not?
Not that I'm complaining because that gave us a lot of fantastic actors.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, I used to have lots of fun going to, I'm going to age myself here, going to rent movies.
Blockbuster.
Thank you. Going to Blockbuster and putting 300 down and saying it's chick flick night. Anytime there was a new guy on the till.
Nice.
That's my version of a chick flick.
There you go. Okay. Hey.
Nothing wrong with that.
There it is. There it is.
I never thought of it like that.
Thank freaking God she's not quoting the originals of Vampire Diaries.
All right, let's push it on, man. It's getting late. Let's go ahead and get this rolling.
All right, let's finish the last two topics. WBD getting sued again. I lost count.
I don't want to dwell on this too much, except to say this.
Just could we recap?
There are
quick
too
for
many.
those who don't know Charles, because a lot of people don't know what's going on.
Yes. All right. So obviously, the trailer, the trailer spot was garbage. That got heat. Now they're not releasing any trailers or anything for the Super Bowl spot. All of that's gone. They're doing it on the Puppy Bowl. We got shills all over the place, basically saying they're going to do that because they're going to attract a lot of kids and women, which they won't. And now we have the Schuster estate suing them because they let the license run out basically on a Superman character, and they have a partnership with them under contract. They let that run out, and then they made a Superman movie and basically was like, we're going to make this movie, and didn't bother saying, hey, Schuster Estate, we're going to make this movie. We're going to obviously cut you in on this with the license and all that, and we're going to keep right on moving. They didn't do that.
To be specific, it ran out in Canada, Australia, the UK, and I think there's one other country. So
all major players in how much money this movie is going to make. Now, my prediction, I said it's a 50-50 shot. My prediction is that if they really want to make this movie, they're either going to pay the suit or they're not going to pay the suit and they're going to tax right off that shit. And then this universe is dead. Yep. My money is on they'll probably pay simply because of the promos that have already been out, the trailers that have already been out, and all of that. So my money is they going to pay that shit.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite. You know why? Because
oh shit!
All right. Cozy, I want to hear you after I say this. Okay.
Okay.
You're next. All right.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be the complete opposite because think about it. With all the bad news that's been happening, with all the lawsuits that have been going on, and we broke down how the stock market went down when Zazie sold off. So everything's against this movie to succeed. So I honestly think this is a Hail Mary in a way for the investor, not for the guy who wants to, I want my use. No, this is for the investor to say, listen, this is our way out. This is our way out. And fuck this universe, fuck DC, fuck everything. We need to bail because this is getting uglier. The optics in this movie are not in its favor. So
they're just not.
And listen, and I'm going to say this right here, right now. I promise you. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't just take it with a grain of salt. I would not be shocked if there are some hedge funds already shorting WBD. Guaranteed.
What did I say at the beginning of this? What did I say beginning of this whole thing? Shareholders care about P&L reports. They don't care about shit else. It's that simple. Yep. If I give you my money, I expect you to make me more money with my investment. If you are not doing that and you can't do that, then something is wrong. It's that simple.
What are you expecting in a franchise that has gone on for so long? Like we have Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is so much good in other movies, but not, for example, Man of Steel. People might like him, people not like him. I love him as an actor. but I think he's more a comedian than I love him more in a comedic session than, for example, in a serious one. But everybody has a different feeling about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to make a good movie that is legitimate for everybody. It doesn't matter how you feel. It's the same as James Bond movies. I mean, we can all have a different opinion, and that's the same thing with Marvel, DC. I mean, let's be honest. Ryan Reynolds sucked as a Green Lantern. Everybody agrees with that, and that is what you want in a movie. You want to agree. You want a character that is agreeable with everyone. I mean, who doesn't love Deadpool?
Yeah.
Cozy.
Hold
on. Cozy. I want to hear your take. By the way, look what they put here. They didn't even have CinemaCon screening.
Yo, okay, so
What's your
yeah,
take
this
on
one
that?
bring up. So I'm on either side of like they pay it out and they release the movie, and I think the movie is still gonna do bad, or they don't pay it, they do a tax write off like Batgirl and call it a day. And there is a lot of like issues, I've even said it since the first photo, like set photo, and like I don't like the suit. A lot of people are making fun of the suits. The cinematography doesn't look good.
Scuba Steve.
Scuba Steve. You don't show it at one of the major Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. You skip that.
Yeah.
Or what?
No, it was a Comic-Con. It was
no, but they still skipped
the other one.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They still skipped San Diego Comic-Con because look, this is how.
Yeah.
This is how I view it, right?
Mhm.
If the Fantastic Four movie hasn't started shooting, but they brought the actors on stage just to hype up everybody.
Yeah.
How come you couldn't do that? How come you couldn't call, hey, today we're gonna take a break, we're gonna go to Comic-Con, we're gonna bring y'all out? We don't
Because he knew there was no hype. He knew if he brought Corn Sweat out on the stage, nobody was gonna fucking react because that's not what we wanted.
Exactly.
Didn't he get booed at like one of the last events he showed up to?
He did get booed in Mexico. That I heard.
Yeah.
He got booed in
No,
Mexico.
of course he's not gonna go to the Brazil one because he doesn't want the same thing to happen.
Man, they gonna slice him up like a smoked sturgeon, dude. If he goes to Brazil,
Yeah,
do you know how big that fan base is for Zack Snyder, bro? Oh, they will chop him up, man.
Also, a lot with a side of chimichurri. Come on.
They man, and that's what's weird is he has fans that are bigger overseas than there are in the United States.
That's crazy.
His fan base is global. It's much bigger outside the U.S. Much bigger.
Yeah.
But I just want to bring it back to what we were talking about here. I don't think they can. I think they have to pay this out.
Yeah.
I don't think because the marketing has already started. I think they're too far in. I don't think that they can just tax write this off. It was different with Batgirl because there was no marketing campaign at that point in time. You know, they didn't invest the money into the marketing.
So it's going to be crash and burn, basically.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think it's crash and burn.
You don't even show it at the Super Bowl. You do it for the Puppy Bowl.
Could you imagine?
How many people watches the Puppy Bowl and be like, "Oh yeah"?
That's what I'm saying. It's their line of thinking that I just don't get. It makes no sense. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I think they are finally accepting what the reality is. And because they now understand the reality, why would they go and invest all that money into a Super Bowl spot?
I don't think they have the money to invest.
They know they're not. They know it's not going to make it back. They're not going to do it.
Could you imagine that it just made a bad business investment and the Sinaloa cartel will go after them? That will make a great movie.
But see, you know the funny thing about it is, Frank, it's a no way out situation. They don't have any way out financially. Period. If they sue for litigation, it's going to stop. It's going to halt the Superman production. They're going to lose money there. If they settle, they're still going to lose money when the movie releases because it's going to flop. If they do the tax write-off, it's still going to lose money. Either way, behind those three doors is nothing but negativity. That's it.
Here's the thing: is that if they felt positive about this movie, if the people in charge felt like this movie had a chance, of course they would.
Crazy.
Yeah, of course they would invest in a Super Bowl tryout. There's
She
no
said
way
elderly people watch the Puppy Bowl.
Then they go up to their investors and go, look at this cross-eyed motherfucker that is wearing a cape.
Can I
Yes.
can I bring this point up too?
I like enemy Frank. I like him. I like him.
Go ahead, Cozy.
I want to bring this point up too. They're also making a huge mistake not showing it at this particular Super Bowl.
Bro,
Kendrick Lamar is performing at this Super Bowl. A lot of people are watching this Super Bowl for that. And
To
you
compensate for
decide,
Superman.
no, we're just gonna go to Puppy Bowl, forget the Super.
You know,
it's the only logical explanation is that they don't feel confident in the movie. It's the only thing that makes
That's
sense.
simple. It's that
no,
simple.
no.
Yeah.
Hear me out. I will say Cozy is 100% right because I said this in a different chat the other day that I can't lie. I'm not a football fan. Cannot wrap my head around that stuff. What Americans and Canadians call football, can't understand it. I grew up, with the calling football what the rest of the world does.
Soccer. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
soccer, yeah.
We actually call it football. By the way, I'm from the Netherlands. By the way, so just
my father's from the
Where,
Netherlands.
I'm sorry, where are you
actually.
from?
Netherlands.
My
You're from the
father,
Netherlands,
my
okay.
father was from Amsterdam.
Well, there you go. See, those are the good people that actually know their sports.
Well, at least I know you root for the right football team. But I digress. I've said in another chat that I'm actually tempted on watching this year's Super Bowl just to see if Kendrick Lamar does not like us.
They not like us.
Oh, of course he is.
he's
Of
gonna do
course
it.
he
Of course
is.
he is.
You know he's going to.
With the fact that there is conveniently tied in a lawsuit inspired, like Drake put a lawsuit down because of Not Like Us. I'm not sure if there will be, but I
think he will do it because Drake he didn't want to do Sue no more because he knew that was a bad choice. So I think there's a high possibility he's going to do it.
I mean, it seems like I cover a lot of true crime,
those
right?
ratings are going to be off the chart.
What?
It kind of feels that all these rappers that think that they're all ghetto are kind of getting recode and they don't have anything to tell anymore. I think it's cute.
No, that's
I
true.
like
That's
that.
true.
No,
That's true.
in this case, the one that's the one that's the halfway crook is Drake, and I will say that as somebody from the same city as him.
Oh, there you go.
He's the one showing up like Anthony Mackie in 8 Mile. Sorry,
I'm standing on that, homie. I'm standing on it. Mama Bear say I'm gonna stand on that.
Have you guys noticed, and this might be political or not, but when I'm a huge Eminem fan, grew up with Eminem, will always be a fan. But when this entire Diddy thing happened, right? I'm just curious about you guys' opinion. I mean, when Diddy got arrested, Eminem raised up, right?
He what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
He made more albums.
He did a few tracks. So yeah, he did another album. He did another diss track. He did say something about Diddy in one of his tracks. I do know that.
That was not this album. That was a previous album.
That was a previous album.
That was the previous one. Okay.
Yep.
Well, then he said it early. Jesus.
It is getting replayed because of
the Diddy stuff.
Because of these shorts on this channel and another platform.
Oh no,
that
this
does short
none of it.
videos.
This year, a lot of shit is gonna get exposed. Like, it's we're not getting political, but there's a certain someone now who's gonna let a lot of shit go out. So
right now, let's talk about something else. Let's move on. Okay,
let's close it up with our final topic. But guys, please also if you're here, like, share, and subscribe. And yeah.
Somebody save me.
Yeah.
So he got arrested for a DUI, and he's not doing well. It's rough out there.
Apparently, Phil was pouring him one too many at the bar.
Phil, are you responsible for this man falling off the wagon?
They see me rolling.
He was literally out of the country for this
hating.
situation.
So for all you guys who don't know, real quick, I used to be a bartender years ago here in Boston, and I was working at the airport, and he showed up to my bar, and I couldn't serve him because on the airport there are certain times that you can serve alcohol, and he showed up on a Sunday. I couldn't serve alcohol until 10 a.m. And he must have shown up, I don't know, like at 8 o'clock.
Phil served TomWelling. Somebody's got a picture of Phil like this.
You know, we should have figured he had a problem if he was at a bar at 8 o'clock in the morning, bro.
Oh, bro.
Well, dude, I mean, it's. I mean, he was traveling, so it's not, to me. It's not uncommon because when you're traveling,
different time zones.
You could have had an orange juice or something, man. Come on, bro.
Either way, I'm not defending the case. I mean, Tom, if you're listening, sorry I didn't serve you. Don't hate on me. I still love Smallville, but dude, I was doing my job, and honestly, dude, if you're having issues, please get help, man. Like for real. Like we might be mocking the situation, but it's also a serious
real shit.
There are a lot of people out there who do suffer from alcoholism.
Real shit, yeah.
And not only that, but like you got a fan base that looks up to you, man. Like, you know.
Exactly, dude. You're fucking Superman.
You were Superman. I know you didn't put on the suit, but you're still Superman, bro. So a lot of kids that look up to you, a lot of people look up to you, and you know this isn't.
And maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe that's what the problem is. He was. I can only imagine the pressure it was. First of all, back then trying to play Superman, and then number two, now that you are no longer in that spotlight and you're only remembered as a footnote on Smallville, that can get into your head, man. Yeah, I think you could. Yeah.
Who was the gentleman again that said he was from Boston?
That was Phil.
That's Phil.
Then you know about the Karen retrial, don't you?
The what? Sorry.
The Karen retrial.
Yes.
Those people are fucking batshit crazy. They go freaking tailgating outside the court right there. It is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah.
Talking about
so Tom,
I was like, damn, you from Boston? There seems to be an issue there.
Mr. Welling, if you are listening to this podcast, sir, we do hope that you get help and you are getting well. You were a phenomenal Superman on Smallville. And you'll always be remembered for that. So no matter what your mistakes are, you'll always be remembered for that. So,
yeah. Well, I just want to said technically he played Clark Kent, not Superman.
Yeah.
Superman. He's still Superman.
He never put the suit on. But Gilmore's Girl actually had the same thought as me. At that time of the morning on a Sunday, dude, go for brunch.
Yeah.
The
most, dude. I listen. Like on Monday through Saturday, the bar was open at 8 a.m. by law, by state law. 8 a.m. I could start serving alcohol.
Damn.
Blood.
They were literally contributing to people's sobriety or non-sobriety. Man, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I learned.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, partner. Won't you come on in and get you a vodka? What?
You know, it reminds me of that scene in Dumb and Dumber where he wants to meet the chick at the bar, and she's like 8 in the morning, or was it 10 in the morning?
Yeah,
it was. He's like in the morning, and he shows up in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
do you remember that scene? I wish I knew it line for line, but I don't. It was from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.